Welcome everybody. Give me 1 second. I'll get started, guys, with the severe weather updates for today. Welcome in, welcome in. Give me 1 second, guys. Alright, guys, we can get started now. I'm gonna share the live to my story real quick. Yeah, welcome in everybody. Give me 1 second. Sharing the story to my live real quick. To my story, sorry. And I'm going to post. Welcome in, everybody. We do have two tropical disturbances currently. One that has a low 10% chance for tropical development. This is most likely going to be a fish storm. The storm down here has a 30% chance for tropical development in the Caribbean. This is where it could either go out to sea, towards the US, or towards Yucatan. We also do have a slight risk for tomorrow, well today now. SPC will update that until 2 a.m. We do have a slight risk that stretches through parts of Arkansas and Texas, and also into lower Illinois and Tennessee and western Kentucky. We do have a 5% tornado risk, sorry. We do have a 5% tornado risk tomorrow. Most of tomorrow is wind and hail with, we are looking at more of a linear threat, a QLCS threat. Mainly for tomorrow. Hold on, guys. Wait, give me 1 second. Hey, so we are looking at a mainly linear QLCS threat, so a big line of storm, rather than discrete supercells. We do still have a 5% tornado risk. We have a 15% damaging wind risk, stretches from Texas up into Ohio. We also have a 50% damaging hail risk that includes Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri, and some of Texas. We are definitely expecting severe weather. I can show you guys one model, the newest ARRR weather model run for the reflectivity. You can see picking up on around 8 a.m. the storms start to fire off, and very fastly become a line of storms. Eventually, you can see this is by 5 p.m. The ARRR did not go any farther than that. Right now, we definitely see this huge line of storms stretching down from Indiana down into Little Rock, Arkansas, and Texas. We're looking at a big line of storms for our severe weather threat tomorrow, or today, sorry. Let's look at our dew points. You can see our dew points change, but as you can see, hold on. Have we got those higher dew points that will help with some severe weather, those higher dew points like that. That jet stream digging down, and that those higher dew points up out in front of it. We would be looking at mostly a possible supercell threat, but what happened is that we won't be having our trough dig down until much later. What does the Euro model look like? Let me go to Pivotal Weather real quick. Give me 1 second. Let me switch to a different website. Okay. Okay. So let me go to the Euro model. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm looking at Euro real quick. This is what the Euro model, the European model, is showing for our jet stream for today. You just have that strong trough digging, but as I said, we are getting that instability before we actually get that strong trough and all those the high cape and high shear. We don't get that until that trough dig down. So then before then, we mostly get a linear threat because it will be pretty late before the actual storm becomes full on line. So our main threat is going to be wind and hail, but a few tornadoes are still a possibility, as we do have a 5%, hold on, a 5% tornado risk tomorrow, today. Let me show you guys. Dallas, Texas. I would be weather where you are in a marginal risk for severe weather currently. This does update at 2 a.m. You are at a marginal risk for severe weather. You are not in a tornado threat, but you are in a threat for damaging wind and hail. Centerton, Arkansas. Centerton, Arkansas. You are in a slight risk for severe weather currently. A 2% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind risk, and a 15% damaging hail risk. So I definitely would be weather where I wouldn't say to be scared or anything, but it's gonna be damaging wind and hail. Very small chance for spin up tornadoes, but they still are a possibility. So definitely have a plan in multiple ways to receive warnings. Nixa, Missouri. You are also in a slight risk for severe weather today. You are in a 2% tornado risk, a 15% damaging wind risk, and a 15% damaging hail risk. Yep, no problem. Valentine, Nebraska. Nebraska's fine. I already know that. And then Donovan. Dauphin, Missouri. Light risk for severe weather, so 2 to 5 risk. A 5% tornado risk. A 15% damaging wind risk. And a 5% damaging hail risk. So definitely be weather aware tomorrow. Have a way to receive warnings. Have multiple ways to receive warnings. And also, just be aware for damaging wind and hail. Strap down loose items like lawn items. Overland Park, Kansas. Just general thunderstorm expected for you today. Nothing severe expected for you today. The best free weather app would be WeatherWise, in my opinion. This is for tomorrow. Longview, Texas. It's going to be a pretty short stream, guys. Longview, Texas, you are in a slight risk for severe weather. A 2% damaging, a 2% tornado risk, sorry. A 15% damaging wind risk, and a 5% damaging hail risk. Easton, Alabama. One second. Easton, Alabama. Marginal risk for severe weather. 2% tornado risk. 5% damaging wind risk, and no hail risk for you tomorrow. I also like Weatherfront, but the problem with Weatherfront is that it does have some issues with a lot of their features are paid, so I don't like it that much. Unless you are able to buy a subscription for a free app, it's pretty good, but most of their things do need to be paid for. Joplin. Joplin, marginal risk for severe weather. You are right outside of the tornado threat. 5% damaging wind risk, and a 5% damaging hail risk. Make sure you guys say your city and your state, please. Fort Smith. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Flight risk, 2 to 5 risk for severe weather. A 2% tornado risk. A 15% damaging wind risk. And a 15% damaging hail risk. Louisiana board. Okay. Hold on. You're in a slight risk for severe weather, a 5% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind risk, and no hail risk. St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks for following, everybody. St. Louis, Missouri. Marginal risk for severe weather. No tornado threat for you. 15% damaging wind risk, and no hail threat. Thanks for following, everybody. I would definitely be weather. I'm not expecting a whole bunch of tornadoes tomorrow. If we get any tornadoes, it likely will be weak spin-up tornadoes more than big tornado threats. I don't know what you did. Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth, hold on. For Little Rock. Little Rock, you are in a slight risk and a 5% tornado risk, so I'd definitely be weather aware. Okay, Fort Worth, Texas, give me 1 second, guys. Let me go through everybody's comments. Marginal risk for severe weather in Fort Worth. No tornado threat. 15% damaging wind and 15% damaging hail. So wind and hail is possible for you. Columbia, Tennessee. Marginal risk for severe weather. 2% tornado threat. 15% damaging wind risk and a no hail threat for you. Yep, no problem. Thank you all for the follows. Enid, Mississippi. Slight risk for severe weather, 2 to 5. 2% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind risk, and no hail threat. No problem, thank you for all the follows. Archie, Missouri, I'm assuming. General thunderstorms for you. Yep, no problem. Rogers, Arkansas, I'm assuming. Slight risk, 2 to 5 risk for severe weather, 2% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind risk, and a 15% damaging hail risk. Dallas, you are in a marginal risk for severe weather. Main threat being wind and hail, definitely be aware for that. No tornado threat for you today. No, Tennessee has, if you're in Western Tennessee has a tornado threat. Eastern Tennessee does not have a tornado threat. Only Western Tennessee has a tornado threat. You're chasing tomorrow? What about Oklahoma? What about you are in a marginal risk for severe weather, 1 to 5. No tornado threat, 15% or 5% damaging wind risk, and also a 5% damaging hail risk. Tornado update for tomorrow in Dallas. Tomorrow in Dallas, I'm not expecting a tornado risk, but you are in a risk for severe weather such as wind and hail. So still be aware for that. It's a very low chance you get a spin up tornado at all. You are in less than 2% tornado risk. No, this is not going to impact Michigan at all. And zoom out a little bit so you can see what states are included in the risk. The darker green, that is our marginal risk. That is a 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. With that risk, you are expecting mainly damaging wind and small hail, about 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and about maybe quarter size hail possibly. And the slight risk is where we do have that 5% tornado threat. There is also a chance for a quick spin up in the marginal risk. The slight risk is where we have the most favorable environment for severe weather, where we have a 5% tornado threat for tomorrow, a 15% damaging wind risk, and a 15% damaging hail risk. So if you are in any of these risk zones, the dark green or the yellow on this map, that means you are at risk for severe weather. If you're in the light green, that just means general thunderstorms. Thank you, Gusto. Lone Neck, Arkansas. They are in a slight risk, so a 2 to 5 risk for severe weather. 5% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind risk, and a 5% damaging hail risk. I would definitely tell them to be aware. There are 2 risks, right? There is 5 risks. For today, there's only 2 risks, but there's 5 in total. Oh, hi, Kylie. Carl. St. Louis, Missouri, damaging wind, small hail, and no tornado threat. Wilmington. Welcome everybody. Thank you for the follows. Indiana, I'm assuming Wilmington, Indiana. If you're talking about Indiana, it's a marginal risk for severe weather, 2% tornado risk, 55% dampening wind, and no hail risk. In Buceo, hold on, give me 1 second. Jack, I'll check that. Give me 1 second, Terry. Is there a city near you can say? Because that one's not popping up. Jackson, Mississippi. Marginal risk for severe weather. 2% tornado risk. 5% damaging wind risk, and no hail risk for you. Thank you for the follow. Dallas, Texas. I'm expecting many damaging wind. Mainly damaging wind and small hail for you. No tornado threat. Davenport, Iowa. Iowa is completely fine for now. At least with this trough digging in. Nope, Iowa is completely fine. You're not even in a general thunderstorm risk, so not even general thunderstorm expected for you. I'm going to show you guys the tropics updates now. Get into the tropics. We do have 2 tropical disturbances right now. We have one out here, the North Atlantic, where we do have a 10% chance for tropical development. Michigan is fine, just general thunderstorms. But we do have a 10% chance for tropical cyclone formation over the next 7 days. Up here, that's a very low chance. Not expecting anything to form from that. But in the Caribbean, we do have a 30% chance for tropical development over the next 7 days. And this likely will either go out to sea, towards the U.S., or towards Mexico. Here's thunder in Iowa right now. Although I guess there is some little storms passing through in Iowa. There's still a threat until around 2 a.m. for a little bit of wind and hail possibly. Yes, there's a hail threat for Lone Oak, Arkansas. In Mississippi? Is there a Pacific City in Mississippi you want me to check? Well, Springfield, Illinois. You guys have a marginal risk for severe weather. No tornado threat. 5% damaging wind threat. And no hail threat. Kentucky, where at in Kentucky? Some of Kentucky does have a tornado threat. Some of Kentucky does have, far western Kentucky has a, yeah, not too bad, has a 5% tornado risk. One second, guys. Okay, Willow Hill. Willow Hill, Illinois. Marginal risk for severe weather. 2% tornado risk, 5% damaging hail wind risk, and no hail risk for you. Princeton, Kentucky. You are in a slight risk for severe weather. You are just outside of the 5%, so a 2% tornado risk for you. 15% damaging wind and no hail risk. The main threat is going to be wind. It might, Kyle. Gulfport, Mississippi. You are in a marginal risk for severe weather. You're not in the tornado threat. I'm expecting mainly no hail threat either, just wind threat. Mainly heavy rain and some strong winds for you. You're in a pretty low chance for severe weather currently. I definitely think it's possible we get enhanced, but I think it would be a wind-driven enhanced risk. Jonesboro, Arkansas. Jonesboro, Arkansas. You are in a slight risk for severe weather tomorrow. A 5% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind risk, and a 5% damaging hail risk. Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville is in the marginal risk for severe weather. The 2% tornado risk, 5% damaging wind risk, and no hail risk. Barville, Kentucky. Just drill thunderstorms expected for you, so you are not in the way of this severe weather. Yep, no problem. Manila. Manila, Arkansas. Slight risk for severe 2 to 5 risk, 5% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind, and no hail risk. Yep, no problem. I'm gonna show you the quick little run of the latest HRRR weather model run. St. Louis, mainly I'm expecting some damaging wind, small hail. I'm not expecting a tornado risk for you. There is a very small 2%, so I definitely still be aware, but nothing too crazy. Let me go back. An HRRR weather model. Go back one. Nope. Yep, no problem. Sorry. For Nashville, Tennessee, this is what the HRRR is showing right now. Look at that up to 5 p.m. currently. Big line of storms right here. Let me look at Nashville. Let me change models. Okay, for Nashville. Nashville is showing this line of storms hitting you around early morning. That was around 4 to 5 a.m. It's pretty early. Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, ice. Hold on 1 second. Springfield, Missouri. You are in a slight risk for severe weather. A 2% tornado risk, 15% wind risk, and 15% damaging hail risk. So I definitely be aware for damaging wind and hail. Iowa is completely fine. At least for tomorrow. Today there is some storms passing through Iowa right now. And a drill thunderstorm risk. But tomorrow you should be fine. This is for Saturday. So technically it's today. No. But SPC does not update it to day 1 until 2 a.m. EST time. Welcome everybody. Give me 1 second, guys. Welcome in. Yep, no problem. Your chips Excel is scrolling a little bit for you so you can see Texas. You guys look at the wrist sense for a minute. Let me do something real quick. Also, guys, make sure you guys follow for more weather updates. Iowa is completely fine for severe weather-wise. Alright, it's completely fine. There's only storms in Iowa right now. You just see little unsevere storms. Monroe, Iowa. Nothing expected for you. Looks like there may be some rain currently. Denton where? Denton, Texas, I'm assuming? You're only in a 5% hail risk, so Hail should be fine for you. Still be aware for some small hail. Welcome in. If you're just now joining, we do have a slight risk for severe weather. Later today, a 5% 5% tornado risk. Now, they don't update the severe weather till 2 a.m. Bridgeport, Alabama. We also have a 50% damaging wind risk and a 50% damaging hail risk. Bridgeport, Alabama. Marginal risk for severe weather. Not expecting anything crazy. Some strong wind and damaging hail is possible. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Bowling Green, you are at a marginal risk for severe weather, so 1 out of 5. 2% tornado risk, 5% damaging wind risk, and no hail risk. Yep, no problem. London, Kentucky. London, Kentucky, you all should be fine today. Just a general thunderstorm risk for you. I'll show you the little brief overview what the latest weather model is showing. Only goes out to 5 p.m. though. It's actually currently updating, so it only goes up to 1 currently. This is by 1 p.m. EST time, so it's currently updating right now. Welcome in. Benny, Missouri. Light risk for you, so 2 to 5 risk for severe weather. 5% tornado risk, 15% damaging wind risk, and a 5% and no hail risk actually. Thank you for the follow there, buddy. Portage, Indiana. Joe Thunderstorm expected for you. Scottsville, Kentucky. Marginal risk for severe weather, 2% tornado risk, 5% damaging wind risk, and a no hail risk. Where was that at? No. Yeah, I know Mathematics is live right now. St. Louis, main threat is going to be damaging wind and hail. And there is a small, actually you're right outside the tornado risk. We'd have to be weather aware though. Montana. Montana, oh no, wrong place. Montana. Montana should be fine. Nothing's happening in Montana. There's some storms in southern Montana currently. So those are non-severe storms. Yep, no problem. Without anyone in the stream, guys, this is just going to be a very quick little update stream.